guys, I'm gonna do a little kind of like chatty Q&A style video while I do some things around the house. Both the girls are down to sleep. I fear when I say that though that I just jinx the whole thing. So we'll see how long this lasts. If not, I can always pop baby girl in a carrier. But let's just dive right in. I asked on my Instagram some questions and I just got a few. So I figured I would just chat about it. And yeah, because I love these kind of style things, especially when it comes to answering questions around being a mom of 2 under 2, since that's the phase of life that I'm in right now. I figured why not to talk about it. Okay, so I take it back. I'm actually gonna sit while I can, while I have the opportunity. I just did a little mini 12-minute workout and now I'm just going to rest for the time that I can. But so first question was, did I have a midwife or a doula experience for my, she didn't specify, but for my second birth. I will say for my first, I had a hospital birth. Very kind of typical hospital style birth. I didn't get induced or anything. I did go into spontaneous labor, but it ended up with the hospital. But I'm gonna talk about my second birth, and that was a free birth, also known as a physiological birth, a sovereign birth, where essentially you have birth in the space of your choosing with no medical professionals present, and whoever you desire, whether it just be yourself, your husband, your partner, your kids, your friends, your family, whoever you decide. But the idea is that there is no medical intervention. So no doula, no midwife, nothing like that. And that is what I did. I birthed my second baby girl in our bathtub in our apartment, 950 square foot apartment. And yeah, she came out as a water birth in our bathtub. And so that kind of answers that question. But going into the second question that I got, which is kind of probably a very long-winded question. How is 2 under 2 going? I could go into so much detail. And then the same person also asked, would I free birth again? And I'll answer the second part of the question first. I definitely would free birth again. Although it was definitely painful, I did not have a pain-free birth by any means. I would 100% do it again. We're already talking about having a third. Haven't fully decided yet. I've pretty much decided I want a third, but it's still a ways away, I would say, before we're ready to have another baby. But we definitely, I would say, want a third baby. We want to try for that boy, but if it ends up being a girl, that's beautiful too. I love my girls so much. I always envisioned myself as a girl mom, and it makes sense that that's what happened. But I would really enjoy the experience of also raising a boy. I think that would be really cool too. So we'll see what happens. I think baby girl might be waking up, but we'll see. So that kind of answers that question. I would definitely have a free birth again. Depends on where we are, how it would be, but that would be my goal. There's always factors on how that couldn't happen, but for the most part, there's very few occasions or scenarios where I could see myself going to a hospital. It would have to be a dire emergency. I just trust my body, I trust my baby, and that's all there is to it. If you want to hear more about my free birth story, I did a full length talk, sit down about it, and then I also have my free birth blog posted on here as well if you're interested. Not for everybody, it's very raw and real, shows all of the things, but yeah, if you're interested. Now, the first portion to that question, how is 2 under 2 going? I can say I am now 9 weeks in, technically. She just turned 2 months yesterday. And I can say it is finally balancing out a little bit. I figure I'm jinxing it, even though I don't really believe in that. But it does seem to be the case when you start talking about oh yeah, it's going good, and then you have a really rough period. But I would say that for me, it's every other day. I'll have a really good day, and then the next day will be rough. And then the next day will be good, and then the next day will be rough. But I will say I'm handling the rough days a lot better than I was in the first 2 weeks. I'm just gonna be brutally honest, and don't let this scare you. It's just my experience with 2 under 2. The first 2 weeks, and let me tell you, my husband was home for the first 5.5 weeks after I gave birth. And so he was home with me. This was not me by myself. He was home, and the first 2 weeks, we have both agreed, hands down, were the hardest weeks of our life. Like, hands down. I'm laughing about it now because it's in the past, but they were the hardest weeks of our lives. There were so many aspects to it. We had some other things in the background going on too that I'm sure contributed to how hard it was for us. But my toddler, who is not even 2 yet, she's 22 months now. So when baby girl was born, she was 20 months. And she was definitely having a hard time with the transition. So that played into how challenging, the first little bit was. She was very daddy centric. So she became a daddy's girl towards the end of my pregnancy, was clinging on to him. Not sure why. It was going on for months though. And I feel like it was because I had less energy. I was a bit more tapped out because I was done being pregnant. I was prepared to go as long as baby girl needed in the womb, but I was done. I couldn't do much. I was cooking a lot in the kitchen. I was preparing in that way, but I couldn't run around. I couldn't do all the things that she was used to me doing, and I just had less energy. And so I feel like that when my husband was home, because he works 5 days a week, when he was home, she just clinged on to him. And I think that also happened because he has been putting her down for bed pretty much every single night since I got to be, I would say 7-8 months pregnant. He's been putting her to bed pretty much every night, except for on the occasion when he's closing. And so I feel like whoever puts her to bed, she kind of clings on to most for that comfort. And so it was like that. And for some reason, she just was having I shouldn't say for some reason, it's very common for the toddler to go through a big transition. This is a brand new baby that we're welcoming in. She was the only baby. She got all of our undivided attention, and now mom and dad are also giving attention to this other little brand new baby, and she was confused. She is adjusting more and more now, and their bond is starting to grow. And they're hugging and kissing, and she's referring, and she's helping me with diaper changes and picking out her clothes, and it's getting to be so cute and so nice. I will say it is definitely worrisome, leaving, I don't leave them alone more than for a split second for me to walk around the corner real quick and grab something from the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever, because she'll get in these phases like toddlers do. They don't understand, that the baby is fragile and she can get aggressive. She can kind of start trying to put stuff over her face or throw things at her, and there's been several occasions where I've had to take her away completely, just keep her in the carrier until my toddler calms down. And so that is definitely the case right now. I know it'll continue to just get better and better, but I know it's going to be probably for a while they're going to be at it. They're going to be their sisters. So I will say overall it's going much better now that I'm kind of got over that first hump, and I'm just embracing it. I think that's what happens. You just get more and more used to it. You kind of start to build confidence the more and more you go out with them on your own. I have her pretty much in the carrier for everything. That's my go-to, and I got a new carrier. It's an Art of Poppy dupe. It's not the maybe carrier that's also popular, but it's literally the exact same. Let me just grab it real quick. So this is what it looks like. It's from a brand called Nest Blanche. And it's identical. I've never used Art of Poppy, but it's identical, and it's so comfortable. I love the pattern so much. It flips up, it's literally the same thing. It's crazy. And so I have been wearing the heck out of this, and I've only had it for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So I'm very grateful I got that. I just pop her in that, and we go for walks. I've been trying to get out every day. That's been really helpful for the 2 under 2 stage. Almost, I would say 100% necessary. Having that toddler, like, you have to get that outside time. There has been days where I didn't, especially in the first chunk. Like, I was having my husband take her out, my toddler, and like, because I was trying not to let, like, really leave or do much for the first little bit. But since he's gone back to work, I've been trying to go for walks every single day with them, bare minimum. We've been blowing bubbles, running around. At first I was a little bit nervous to, like, take her out of the stroller, but we have a trail that's pretty set away from, like, any traffic or anything, so I feel confident, like, letting her walk around. And she doesn't run like crazy fast, so even with the baby in the carrier, I feel like I can still catch her or pull her away if, like, a bike is coming or something. But that's been a must, getting out of the house. The days that I have the car, I also, like, I try to go to a park, maybe go to a store. I'm still branching out little by little. I haven't had that many experiences of doing much more than just going to the park or going for a walk on the trail. So I'm sure I'll update you guys. But yeah, this is, again, kind of like a long-winded answer to how 2 under 2 is going. But I will say the first 2 weeks I was like, did I make a mistake? Like, obviously I didn't regret having her. I love my girls to death, but it was so hard for us. I was crying on the daily. You know, your hormones are crazy, and they still are. I'm only 9 weeks postpartum. And so that definitely plays a huge role in your experience. Like, your emotions are going crazy, and it's totally normal to feel that way. And I still will have, like I said, every other day kind of is like a high and a low, a high and a low. And I'm sure my own, like, mental disability has something to do with that. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have anxiety. I struggle with depression. But I don't like to, like, really put those labels on myself, although they have been given to me from a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. But I don't like to, like, lean into those and, like, let them define me, if that makes sense. I tried to do my best to manage. I'm not on antidepressants this time around, and so I think that has played into it being more difficult than it was the first time around. But also, like, I have a whole nother baby to take care of, so obviously it's more hard. I heard a lot of people talk about the 1 to 2 transition is so much easier than the 0 to 1. I did not have that experience. The 1 to 2 transition has definitely been harder, but in ways it has also been easier. Like, I feel like I kind of, like, snapped back into life faster than the 0 to 1, just because I have a toddler. Like, I have to take care of her. You know, I want to help entertain her and engage with her, and I can't just sit on the couch and lie with my baby and nurse her like, all day long. Like, I don't have that opportunity. I also need to be attentive to my toddler and get up and get outside and, you know, entertain her as a stay-at-home mom who is, you know, solo 5 days out of the week. I don't have that privilege. So in that way, it's very, very different and harder, but also easier in ways, because I feel like it just, like, motivated me to kind of, yeah, get back into life, get back into the things that I enjoy doing. And the kids really motivate me to do that and just be the best version of myself I can be for them. So, like I said, that was a long-winded answer to those questions, but yeah, I would say that's a good overall kind of response to that question. I'm gonna go grab baby girl, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna end this video here or if I'm gonna add some more B-roll into it. We'll see, but let's go grab baby girl. So for instance, my toddler just woke up out of nowhere. She normally has been sleeping from anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 hour naps. I'm so grateful for her. She was not doing that for a while. And so I had just grabbed baby girl and she woke up, and so I just had to leave, I had to leave her on the couch. And luckily right now she's not mobile, so it's fine. Let me change her real quick. So anyway, as I was saying, I had to get baby girl. Baby girl was awake. She needed a diaper change. But then at the same time, my toddler woke up. So I had to just leave her here. And she was getting kind of fussy. But I had to rock my toddler back to sleep, because she does do that on occasion, where she'll wake up like after her first sleep cycle of like 45 minutes or less. 45 minutes or less, and then she'll go back to sleep. And luckily that was one of these days where I was able to get her back to sleep relatively quickly. But what do you do in that scenario when you're by yourself? Just make sure baby's in a safe spot. It helps that she's not mobile yet, so she can't go anywhere, because we don't have a crib, we co-sleep. But I was able to just leave her on the couch, rock her back to sleep, come back out, and continue what I was doing. So there were so many logistical things that I was worried about or overthinking in my head. But my main motto and phrase since becoming a mom of 2 under 2, especially since my husband has gone back to work, is, you just figure it out. Just figure it out. And I have always figured it out. Can I say that I make sure both babies are never crying at the same time, or that one's not crying? No, of course, they're kids, they're babies, they're gonna cry. But I do my best to keep them as happy and healthy as possible, and that's all that we can do as mamas. So she is right now content doing a little bit of playtime. When she's, I spoke too soon. Let's put her in the carrier. You want a carrier? You want a carrier? Then I can show you this carrier in action. I actually need to adjust this part so it's Velcro for the width of their legs to make sure they're in that healthy M-shaped position for hip development. And I'm just gonna bring it out a little bit, because she's already gotten taller since I adjusted this, which is crazy. But I noticed that today. Just gonna extend it out a little bit. And they have the little milestone things. But again, this is doesn't really matter because every baby's different. But just a little reference. And it just velcros on, makes it wider. It buckles in the back. And then there's the 2 buckles. I knew I was gonna love it, but I really enjoy the crossbody. This is not sponsored, by the way. I know it seems like it is, but it's not. I don't even have enough followers on TikTok to get commission for the little TikTok link, because I got it from TikTok Shop. Okay, you ready to go in the carrier? Hopefully she is in the mood to be in the carrier. Because since she has been more awake, her wake windows have been a little bit longer. She has, occasionally not wanted to be in the carrier. I try to just put her in here when she needs to nap, or if I really need to, do something and be hands-free. Right now, I would like to probably make some lunch or eat some lunch. Actually, I already have lunch made because my mother-in-law brought over some food. Okay, so my toddler's still sleeping. Don't know how long that's going to last. So I'm trying to decide what I should do now. And obviously it'll be dependent on this baby girl and how long she stays content in here. But I really want to make, so today is Valentine's Day. I didn't mention that, but we really just celebrated in the morning because my husband is closing tonight from 1 to 9:30. So yeah, I was gonna try to do maybe some fun little things with my toddler, but that's pretty much it for Valentine's Day. And then hopefully we're gonna stay up a little bit later, as long as both of the girls are asleep, and hang out together. But we're actually gonna make a vegan cheese board. We got all of the cheeses, last night and like crackers. It's like our luxurious kind of thing that we do because it's very expensive to buy a bunch of vegan cheese. We've been vegan now for almost 10 years, so but anyway, that will be very yummy. Maybe I will insert a clip somewhere in this video if I remember to take a video. But yeah, so this morning we celebrated and my husband made strawberry heart-shaped pancakes for us, and that was really fun. He ended up blending in a beet, strawberries, and banana, and it turned into this really beautiful pink red color from that beet. If you ever want to dye anything like pink, I highly recommend using beets or beet powder. We didn't have beet powder, so we just used beets. Sorry if this bothers you, the bouncing, but it's what I gotta do. And so I'll insert clips of our breakfast in here. It turned out so cute. I'm so grateful that he did that. That was very fun. And our oldest got to help cut out some of the pancakes with our heart-shaped cookie cutters. So they turned out really cute. And she was devouring them, which she does not normally do. So I think she's gone through a growth spurt or something because she's been eating really good. But I think I'm going to try to make some cookies, which I need my phone for. So I'll do my best to record some of clips of me making them, but I have the recipe on my phone and I use my phone to record. So let's try and do that. They're super simple. I've never made them before, but they're made with coconut flour. So I have the shredded coconut that I'm going to blend into coconut flour, and then also almond flour, and then like baking powder, baking soda, some butter, and sugar. It's really simple. And then I'm gonna put raspberry jam in the center and try to use my finger to make little hearts for like the thumbprint part. So we'll see how it goes and we'll see how much I get done. Okay, well, the realities of 2 under 2 and mom life in general is I had enough time to take out the butter and the vanilla extract before I needed to start feeding baby girl because she was just not having it in the carrier. So that normally means if she's changed and she just took a nap that she is hungry. So she has definitely been eating so much. She's packing on the pounds, which I love that for her. That's exactly how my first baby girl was with breastfeeding. So we'll see how much I end up getting done, but you know, it is what it is. I can try to make the cookies with my toddler when she wakes up, maybe, hopefully at some point today, but we'll see what happens. So it seems like the dough got just too wet, like the butter melted too fast. So I'm gonna end up sticking it in the fridge so it can firm back up hopefully, and then I'll shape it because I know if I do it now it's just gonna ruin them. Normally would transfer it to a bowl, but today is an eat out of the container kind of day. And yes, it's very hard to eat with her head so close to me. And yes, I have gotten food on her and the carrier, but it's worth it. I can't believe my oldest is still sleeping. She's been sleeping for over 2 hours, not including when she woke up. I noticed that when she wakes up and then I rock her back to sleep, she tends to take longer naps if I'm able to get her back to sleep. So that's why it's always worth trying. I'm sure she will be up very soon. On the nights where my husband closes, it always gives me anxiety about getting my oldest to bed, because she has to be rocked and then laid with in order to fall asleep most nights. And I'm not able to lay with her because, you know, if I fall asleep in there, I won't be able to hear her because she sleeps with white noise. And so the few times I do have to do it, one night I had to keep my toddler up. She wouldn't go to sleep. So I had to keep her up until my husband got home so that he could lay with her. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I have gotten lucky a couple times where I was able to get her to sleep though. But we'll see how tonight goes. My mother-in-law made this. It's like roasted tofu. There's artichoke in here, dates, olives, farro, mushrooms. It's pretty good. I'm also starving, so. And I didn't have to make it, so that makes it taste even better. I've been adding this layered oat creamer, which has adaptogens in it. It was on clearance at my grocery store, so we decided to try it. I like that it adds adaptogens, but I don't like it as a creamer or as like a milk replacer. Yeah, it's just not creamy enough, and like I noticed that it doesn't dissolve well enough either. So that's unfortunate, but I like that it's adding adaptogens at least. And then I use unsweetened matcha, and I add my own choice of sweetener. It depends on the day. Sometimes I add like some of our homemade syrups that we make. Right now my husband made a brown sugar syrup, so I'll probably add that. Sometimes I just add sugar, sometimes I add date syrup. Just depends on the day. And I just add the oat milk creamer, like a half teaspoon, and then I add like 3 teaspoons or so of matcha, a little bit of hot water just to whisk it. And then if I'm making it iced, I just fill up the milk almost to the top with some ice, mix it all together with some of the syrup. Baby girl woke up drinking my matcha. I decided to put some lavender syrup in my matcha. I need to make it much stronger next time because I added too much water to the syrup. So I had to add so many pumps of it for it to even like sweeten it at all. She had woken up when she woke up. It looks like she might be going back to sleep though, because she hasn't been sleeping that long. I made some cookie dough. It's in the fridge. Turn that. Abby, put it there. Pull it down. Now we can do one more. Alright, first we shall pour you a cup, my love. Bend with the knees. Well, I was going to take her out and feed her, but it looks like she is going back to sleep, so I'll just wait. Fold some diapers. You enjoying your lunch? It seems like it called for like too much butter. A little jam. Maybe if I... Okay, let me get these in the oven. Don't you hate when you spend like a ridiculous amount of time making something because you have 2 kids and then it just completely fails and it was just all a waste of time because now they pretty much have to go in the garbage. Like, I don't even think these are edible. This has happened to me before when using butter in cookie recipes. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand what happens. I follow the recipe, and yes, they're vegan cookies, but it was a vegan cookie recipe. So you use vegan butter, margarine, and let me just show you. They spread out, and this has happened. I had a feeling with the consistency of the batter, maybe I should have added more flour and used my intuition, but I was trying to do it quickly. And this is what happened. Like, I genuinely don't think that these are edible. I don't know. Bust. Going for a walk to hopefully make up for it.